Hey everybody, this is Matt Tebow with Stacked, and right now I am joined by Stixxay, the ADC for Golden Guardians. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. So the first thing I want to talk about is GG's performance from this weekend. How do you feel about how your team did this weekend?
Um, I think we had an okay weekend. I'd say like overall, our just things we learned and all that in scrims went pretty well, to be honest, this week. A lot better than I was expecting for sure. And going to the weekend, I think we ran into a couple situations that we hadn't, practiced against and comps that we weren't necessarily too comfortable on, and that really showed, especially in our game today versus TL. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think for the state of our roster, we did a pretty good job. Took a win off CLG, so.
For sure. Speaking of your roster, and this is something I was really interested in asking you actually. You're a vet. I mean, like you've been in the league for about 5 years, right? Technically?
Yeah.
Yep. So next to a vet, you're coming from a group of young players. Some guys coming out of college, one guy coming from Latin America, all that stuff. Like, how does it feel to be like the vet in a group of young players? Do you feel like a sense of responsibility? Do you find that you're like the go-to, like the old dude, like going to Stixxay's kids going to Stixxay to figure out
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what's going on?
I mean, I just think like age-wise, we're all pretty similar age, to be honest. I think most of my teammates are 22. Newbie's 24. He's the oldest. I'm 23. So honestly, I don't feel like I'm this like dad that everyone goes to or anything like that. I think I'm just another player on the team. I think my biggest strength just comes from, typically going to like VOD and stuff. I'm able to give a resolution just through a lot of my experience that I've just games I've played with League. I just typically know how situations should be played out or what we should be doing differently. So I think that's where I'm able to help my team and find a solution in areas where we're not sure what to do. Yeah, that's why I think everyone feels pretty equal on the team.
hmm So also another thing branching off of that is I think a narrative that's getting pushed a lot is this like old versus new narrative. Like there was that
Mhm.
LCS spot with Tactical, FBI, and Spica where
Mhm.
they're like these rookies are lighting it up. How do you feel
Right,
about
right.
that conversation? Like this old blood versus new blood type thing. How do you think that bodes for like how you're gonna play, how it affects the LCS? Do you think it matters? Do you think it's a big deal? Like what's your
Um,
opinion?
yeah, I mean, I think the whole like new blood versus old blood thing is a bit overblown. Like most of these players that they're saying are rookies or new players or whatever. Like they've been around for a long time, right? It's just kind of pushed because they're newer in the LCS that they're new. My mask keeps falling off. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Um, but yeah, I think they're kind of being pushed as new players, but I mean, they've been around for a while. I've been playing since season 2, and I know a lot of these players have also been playing since sometimes before that, maybe a little after, like season 3 or season 4. But realistically, everyone in the scene has been, these people aren't just starting the game in like season 8 and they just started playing. It's like they've been playing the game for a long time, right? They're just new to competitive league. So
Right, right. And speaking of competitive, I want to talk a little. How do you feel about the ADC meta? Like we've been seeing a lot of Kai'Sa, a lot of Jen, but I was really intrigued in game two. I believe it was your second game when you picked Callista. So
yeah.
I want to, on top of the overall discussion, I want to hear your thoughts on the ADC meta and like Gale Force and Kraken Slayer and all that stuff. But I also want to hear about like what the Callista pick, like why you went for it, because I think that was the only like off meta
Yeah.
champion that got picked in bot lane so
Yeah.
far. So I want to hear you talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall the AD carry meta is really fun. I really prefer this meta. I think some of my best champions are Kai'Sa, Jhin, stuff like that, and that's really just the meta. Um, but yeah, going to the game versus TSM, we picked Callista pretty much because we had just been experimenting with some drafts where, I was going to the later phase of the draft and we got banned out a bit. They banned a lot of the meta picks and apologies.
Yeah, no problem.
They banned a lot of the meta picks, and so I was like, what can I pick here? And I've been playing a lot of Calista in solo queue and having relatively decent success. So I was like, all right, let's try Calista here. My role of that game was really just to be like a safe laner that can do fine, as well as have some threat later on, like with engages and stuff. And I thought Calista would be pretty good at that. I think in hindsight, I probably could have had a better pick, but just trying it out. I think Calista is one of my strongest champs as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, AD meta is really fun. Gale Force is really fun to use. I think people are probably building it a bit too much, especially on like Kai'Sa, where I think Kraken is really strong as well. But yeah, it's really fun with the new items.
Yeah. During that game, I think I saw a couple of clutch ults getting your oath sworn out of the fight and away from the fight. I saw a couple times, kept the game
Yeah.
alive a lot longer than it probably could have been as well.
Mhm.
And one last question I wanted to ask you for all the fans of Golden Guardians: what should they expect from you going forward, and expect from the team as the season starts?
Well, I think even though we're a really new team, it's completely fine to have, like normal expectations for us. I don't think we're like an exception just because we have a lot of new players. You shouldn't expect us to be like, oh, it's fine. They got ninth or 10th. Like they're a new team. It's fine. I think we're going to be relatively a lot stronger than people expect us to be. Just based off my feelings of the team and results, practice and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, hopefully all the fans that watch us enjoy watching us. It's really fun. I think our team is really, really active for the most part, and we don't like to just like slowly bleed out and lose games. And I think as we get more comfortable playing in official matches, we'll do a better job of that. So,
All right, awesome, Stixxay. Thank you so much for your time. You can find us on our website, stacked.gg, where we produce original content. You can find us on our Twitter, at StackedLOL, and you can also find us on our YouTube at youtube.com/StackedLOL. If you're already on our YouTube, go ahead and click that like button and also hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out a lot. Once again, Stixxay, thanks you for your time, and I really appreciate it. Have a good one.
yeah. Thanks, you too.